everyone, it's Sarah and welcome to my crochet channel. Today's video is square number 6 in our year-long crochet along. We're calling this the Grantastic crochet along because each month we're doing a new and different square. And what we're doing is we began with the basics of just a basic granny square. And each month we're learning something new and having some fun making 4 of each month's squares. Now I have chosen to do all of mine in the same color. You can do whatever that you like with yours. This month's square is called the Meshy Granny, and that's because you'll notice that it is stitched with open holes or a mesh-like appearance. And like I said, this is our 6th square. We're doing 1 each month, and June, of course, is the 6th month. Now you can find this pattern along with the other previous 5, and eventually all 12 will be on that link in the notes underneath the video. Now remember, there's 2 links. One of them, the first one, will take you to this specific pattern. The second link will have all the pattern links and videos as well as the release dates. You can find both those links in the notes underneath this video. So what you need is to continue using the same yarn that you started with, or at least the same weight and fiber. I began mine with Red Heart Super Saver in this aqua color. It looks a little lighter on screen, but it's actually called Turk, I believe. It is Red Heart Super Saver. It's a worsted weight acrylic medium number 4 yarn. If you started with a cotton, if you started with something else, make sure that you make all of your squares with the same weight and fiber of yarn, or your squares are not going to turn out the same. The other thing is to make sure you're using the same crochet hook. We're using an H, which is a 5.0 millimeter crochet hook. You'll need a needle for weaving in ends, and of course you'll need your scissors. And I'll talk more at the end of the video about the blocking board. We're going to begin with our slip knot, and then we're going to chain 5. We're going to take the tail, put it over our hook, and pull it through that loop to make a ring. If you prefer the magic ring method, that's fine. Do what works best for you. I just prefer this method for me. Both will work fine for this project. All right, we're going to put our hook in the ring, pull up a loop, and chain 3. This chain 3 counts as our first double crochet. We're going to stitch 2 more double crochets. And chain 2. Now we're going to stitch 3 double crochets, chain 2. 1, 2, and 3. And chain 2. And you'll notice I'm also stitching over that extra tail of yarn, and I'll show you what to do with that in a minute. We're going to repeat the 3 double crochets, chain 2, 2 more times, so that we have 4 sets. There's 1 and 1 more set of 3 double crochets, chain 2. Here's 1, 2, 3, and 4 sets of 3 double crochet, chain 2. We're going to join to the top of our chain 3 with a slip stitch, Then we're going to slip stitch in those next 2 double crochets, and then slip stitch in the chain 2 space and chain 3. All right, now this is the way that row 1 should look. You've got 4 chain 2 spaces and 4 sides of 3 double crochets. Now, if you turn this over, we can grab that tail of yarn that we stitched over, and we can gently pull on that, and that's going to close that hole up for us, and then we can weave that in later. All right, let's do row 2. Our chain 3 here counts as our first double crochet. We're going to double crochet in that chain 2 space. We're going to chain 2 and then stitch 2 more double crochets in that same chain 2 space. That's our first corner. And all the corners throughout this project will be stitched the same. We're going to chain 1, and you'll notice we have those 3 double crochets. We're going to skip the first double crochet and stitch a double crochet in that second double crochet. And then we'll chain 1. All right, we'll skip that last double crochet of those 3 and go right in the next corner and stitch it exactly the same as the first one. 2 double crochets, chain 2, and 2 double crochets. All right, so let's look back at what we did. Here's our corner. Our chain 3 counted as our first double crochet. We did another double crochet, chain 2, and 2 double crochets. We chained 1. We did 1 double crochet in that center double crochet of those 3. Chain 1, and then we did our corner. All right, let's do that again. We've got our corner made, so chain 1, skip the first double crochet, and double crochet in the top of that second double crochet. Chain 1. We'll skip that last double crochet and go right in that chain 2 in the corner. 2 double crochets, chain 2, and 2 double crochets. Chain 1, skip the first one, double crochet in the second one, and chain 1. Skip that last double crochet and do the corner the same. 2 double crochets, chain 2, and 2 double crochets. Chain 1, and we'll repeat on the last set of 3. Skip the next double crochet, double crochet in the middle double crochet, and chain 1, and then we'll join to the top of that chain 3. Then we'll slip stitch in that next double crochet, then slip stitch in the corner and chain 3. All right, so here's how row 2 should look. And I'm spreading it out so you can see the mesh. And what we'll be doing is we'll be lining up our double crochets, and there'll be chain 1s in between, and that's what's going to make that mesh look. All right, let's do row 3. Our chain 3 again counts as our first double crochet, and we'll do the corner the same, a double crochet, because the first chain 3 counted as our first double crochet, chain 2, and 2 double crochets. All right, so there's our first corner. We're going to chain 1. And now we have these 5 double crochets with those 2 chain 1s. And the way this will work is we'll skip the first double crochet and double crochet in the second one. We'll chain 1. We'll double crochet in the top of this double crochet. Chain 1, double crochet in the next double crochet, and chain 1. So we have our corner, 2 double crochet, chain 2, and 2 double crochets. Then we have chain 1, double crochet, skip 1, chain 1, double crochet, skip the chain, chain 1, double crochet, then we're going to skip the last double crochet of those 5 and go right to the corner. Two double crochets, chain 2, and 2 double crochets. Our corners, like I said, are going to be always the same. 2 double crochets, chain 2, and 2 double crochets. All right, let's do this next side. We're going to chain 1, we'll skip the first double crochet and double crochet in that second double crochet. Then we'll chain 1, we'll skip the chain and double crochet in the double crochet. Chain 1, double crochet here, skipping that chain, and chain 1. And now we're back to our chain 2 because we're going to skip that last double crochet. So 2 double crochets, chain 2, and 2 double crochets because that's the corner. All right, now here's our corner. We have 3 double crochets with chain 1s in between, and now we're to the next corner. Chain 1, skip that first double crochet, and double crochet in the next. Chain 1, double crochet in that double crochet. There we go. Chain 1, double crochet in this double crochet, and chain 1. Skip that last double crochet and go right in that corner. 4, 2 double crochets, chain 2, and 2 double crochets. All right, chain 1. Now I'm on my last side here. Skip that first double crochet and double crochet. Chain 1, chain 1 in that double crochet. Chain 1, double crochet in the first double crochet of those last 2. Chain 1, we're going to skip that last double crochet and join to the chain 3. We'll slip stitch in the top of that double crochet, and that puts us in the corner. Slip stitch and chain 3. All right, I'm going to pull these corners out just to make sure we can see good. There we go, good stretch. Now you can see that we're lining up our double crochets together that are our mesh in between, and our corners are going to always be the same: 2 double crochets, chain 2, and 2 double crochets. And I think you're starting to see the pattern. Now we're ready for row 4. And again, our chain 3 counts as our first double crochet. We're going to double crochet, chain 2, and 2 double crochets in this first corner. 1 and 2. Chain 1. We're going to skip this first double crochet of those 2 and stitch a double crochet in the second one. Then we'll chain 1, double crochet in the next double crochet, chain 1, double crochet in the next double crochet, chain 1, double crochet in the next double crochet, chain 1 and double crochet in the next double crochet, chain 1. We're going to skip that last double crochet and go right in that chain 2 space of the next corner. 1, 2, chain 2, and 2 double crochets. 1 and 2. And I want you to look at this again so you can see how this row is working. Here's our corner, our chain 1, then we double crocheted in the double crochets, making sure they're lined up. We're not double crocheting in the chain 1 spaces. We're double crocheting in the double crochets. Now we're to the corner. All right, let's do it again. Chain 1, we're skipping this first double crochet and double crocheting in the next. Chain 1, double crochet in the next double crochet. Chain 1, double crochet in the next double crochet. Chain 1, double crochet in the next double crochet, chain 1 and double crochet in the next double crochet, and chain 1. Now we have those in here with our corner, so you've got 5 double crochet chain 1s ending in a chain 1, skipping that last one, and now we're doing 2 double crochets, chain 2, and 2 double crochets in the corner. And then we'll repeat on these two sides what we did on these two sides. I joined to my chain 3, slip stitched in the double crochet, slip stitched in the chain 1 space or the chain 2 space, and chained 3. We're on our last row now. Our chain 3 counts again as our double crochet, so we'll do the corner the way we usually do. Add another double crochet, chain 2, and 2 double crochets. All right, chain 1, skip the first double crochet and double crochet in the next, and then we'll do chain 1, double crochet in the double crochet, 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 chain 1, you can see the pattern, chain 1 and then double crochet in the next double crochet, chain 1, we'll skip this double crochet and stitch our corner in the chain 2 space, 2 double crochets, chain 2, and 2 double crochets. And you can see how my double crochets are all lined up. And again, we're not stitching in the chain 1 spaces, we're stitching in the double crochet. All right, let's do this side. Chain 1, skip the first double crochet and double crochet in the next. And then here we go. Chain 1, double crochet in the double crochet. Chain 1, double crochet in the double crochet, all the way across. All right, chain 1, there's all our double crochets, chain 1s all lined up. We're going to skip that last double crochet and go right to our chain 2 space and stitch our corner. 2 double crochets, chain 2, and 2 double crochets. Go ahead and make my chain 1. All right, so let's take a look at it. All your double crochets should be lined up. And in reality, if you were to continue with this and make a blanket, it would make a wonderful, nice summer throw because you would have all these holes for air and space. And it would be enough to keep the cool off, but it wouldn't work great for a winter blanket, of course. All right, so what we're going to do is just continue to repeat on these two sides what we did here, and again, join to our chain 3. I've completed that row. I joined to my chain 3, I slip stitched in the next double crochet and then slip stitched in the corner. Now you can go ahead and tie off there if you want to. I just like taking it to the corner so it keeps it nice and smooth. And I think it just makes it lay better. All right, I'm going to pull that string to the back and I'll weave that in back here. For now I'm just going to pull that with my crochet hook. All right, so there's our square, the Meshy Granny. Remember, you're going to need 4 of each square. So here's one Meshy Granny, and here's 3 more that I have made. Now, The blocking boards that I have are these sponge blocking boards. You can buy them at Michael's. I think they're $4 or $5 a piece. Use those coupons to get you some. And I pin it on here and spritz it. And then after I spritz one, I take the next one. I lay it right on top. Just like this. There's the next one. I'll spritz it with just water, nothing else. And the reason that I do this is because when it comes time to make these into a blanket, they're going to be similar in size. Now, if you're making your squares and they're coming out just a little bit too big, maybe a ½ inch or an inch, you can go up a hook size. This is an H, go up to a 5.5, an I hook. If you're making your squares and they're coming out just a little bit too big, you can go down a hook size or two. And remember, if you're making all of yours the same size and they're all too big or too small, that's okay. They're your squares and your blanket, and you can make it whatever size that you want to. Now what I'll do with this is they'd all be spritzed with water, and then I'll set it on my dryer to dry. And once they're all dry, I'll put them in my tub over here that I'm keeping all my squares in, and then they'll all be the same size when it comes time to sew them all together. That way I'm not fighting with the edges being way out of shape. All right, and that's the purpose of the blocking board for this project for me. You don't have to do that. It's just something that I do to help it, to make it easier for me. All right, so that's our Meshy Granny. Make sure you make 4, and I'll see you next month for square number 7, which will be the V square.